going to pick 5 cards, and the first one is, what do we leave behind? Let me just shuffle out of sight just a moment, a bit easier. It's a little bit harder when you have to go around the camera. But I do like to, you just see me choose the cards. Okay, here we go. So, what do we leave behind from the previous month as we go into this month? So we'll cut there, and we'll put there, we won't yet reveal it. What do we take forward into March? What will be our external focus? What will be our internal focus? And what will be the general energy for the month of March? Okay, we have our cards in the spread. So the first one, what do we leave behind? And this is the 9, and I believe it to be the 9 of Wands. And I'll just double check that, because it doesn't actually got the suit on it, but I think that's the 9 of Wands, which would make sense. And the 9 of Wands, to me, means the 9 of Wands is about being on the defense, being making sure we guard ourselves, but sometimes we could take that too far. Going into putting sort of out guarding our boundaries, which we should do, which is healthy, but we can do that in an unhealthy way, to go too far with our boundaries, can't we? Yes, it's the 9 of Wands. And it's the negative side of it is being hesitant, being too cautious, being too protective. Yes, being afraid of taking on too much responsibility, because don't forget, because we have the 10 of Wands, where we have that burden. Sometimes taking on too much responsibility can make you feel burdened. You know, that you might feel you're not sufficient enough. You haven't got the wherewithal to carry on at the moment. And a lot of it is our belief about ourselves, which we've been talking about. So I think leaving behind the sense of being overly defensive and protective. And as I say, there is a healthy amount of protecting ourselves, and when we've been battered a bit, taking time to heal, but we can take that too far, and we can become isolated. And there's a thing about where, where the figure in the traditional card is all bandaged up, indicating he needs time to heal from his wounds. But he's got the line there, but he's ready to defend if necessary, which we almost have to be ready to defend ourselves. But it's more like he's not going to go looking for it. And there is a sense of leaving behind the need to fight unnecessary battles, which is similar in a way to the Five of Swords, isn't it? Some message that you get. So we could leave that behind and only battle when we need to, but not to be too fearful that we don't act, that we draw away. Because the 9 here and the 9 of Wands, it's like the 9 in the Mages, which is the Hermit. It's okay to withdraw for a time, a strategic retreat, but then, as I say, if it's taken too far, you become too isolated, and you then don't do the things that you're meant to be doing. So we need to leave that kind of thinking behind and have the confidence that we have the ability to do what we need to do. Give ourselves a little bit of time, of course, to recuperate, but eventually we have to, carry on. Okay, so what do we take forward? And this is the 3 of Wands. So two Wands cards. We're certainly taking our creative and visionary energy forward into March. And the 3 of Wands this is about expansion and growth, widening our sphere of influence, widening our horizons, broadening them, reaching out, stretching outwards into new things, into growth, not going inwards and shrinking like parts with the 9 of Wands here. So we're to take forward this idea of putting our energy out there and letting it be creative and to expand and bring growth. So that does, in fact, contrast well, I think, with the first card. So what's our external focus going to be? We have a king. We have a King of Pentacles. And I'm sure we had the King of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles last month. Yes, we did. I'm going to do the review next. And this is all about focusing on our ability to create the things we need, the practical things, to use ourselves and to expand and grow ourselves sufficiently. It ties very well in for the growth and expansion and to be able to provide what we need for ourselves and for others. This is what where our focus is going to be. What's our inner focus going to be? I'll come back to this. This is the 5. These are all Wands. No, that's a Pentacle. But most of these are Wands. It's interesting. And it is a well-shuffled deck now. Been using it for the past few days. So this is the 5, which is about the conflict. And, it's almost like, I think you've got like the snakes here, almost like a nest of vipers fighting for for dominance and but the 5 here, because it's the internal, to me it's like internal conflict, internal things within us that ideas and passions that are perhaps rubbing up against one another, and we can't quite there's a bit of inner friction within ourselves. We're a bit conflicted within ourselves, and maybe we need to resolve that. Maybe it's this aspect that maybe we're conflicted between these two, and until we resolve the conflict between these two, we can't reach this adequately enough. So we need to resolve this. So that could be our inner focus. And the general energy for the month is the Hanged Man, which does fall in line with the other cards, because it's a change of view. It's pausing for a change of view, for a change of perspective, to resolve this conflict between these two, to see things a different way. Maybe we're being too overprotective of ourselves or too cautious, and we need to have the confidence to branch out and expand our horizons. And this inner conflict here needs to be resolved so we can be the person that provides for ourselves and for others in our external world. And the energy is to be willing to do what it takes to gain that new perspective that we need, as uncomfortable as sometimes it may be to get that perspective, because we're so used to thinking a certain way, that just dealing with this energy of getting into the position where we can see things differently, so we can have the confidence to grow and move forward and expand our energy influence and provide for ourselves and others, resolving the conflict between our doubts and our fears, and having the confidence to grow. And that is what's going to bring us the true guidance. And once we resolve that issue, will bring us enlightenment and guidance and clarity for the way forward, perhaps a new vision for us to follow, because this is all about what goals and visions and passions, and how what we want for ourselves with the Wands cards, the predominance of the Wands cards. We've got 3 of the Wands cards here. So that's the energy that we're entering into. So it could be a very interesting, very life-changing, thought-provoking, and let's be prepared to change our perspective, the way we look at certain things, because that's going to help us to expand and grow. That's going to be the key to it, resolving this conflict between having the confidence or to expand and grow, and being inwardly protective and shrinking back from things because of our self-doubt and other things and previous wounds and everything. We don't venture out unless we're being very protective. And a certain amount of that, as I said, is healthy, but doing it overboard can isolate ourselves and cut us off from that creative energy that we need. So there we have it. That's the summary of the month ahead spread for March. And I will do the review for the previous month as soon as I can. But I thought I wanted to get this one done for the month ahead before we got too far into the month. And so there we are. So thank you for listening. Hope you'll take a note. I hope this is relevant to you. And we'll see how the month goes. Oh, okay. So thank you for listening. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you all again very soon. Okay. Bye-bye.